Hi everyone, today's video is about the 12 stages of existence. I will share how this trend line is applied in BaZi chart analysis for the purpose of a more accurate reading. And more importantly, I will also share how I apply this philosophy in my own life so that we can all benefit from this pursuit of a constant calm state of mind. But before I dive into the specific stage, let me begin by sharing the Chinese names for the overall 12 stages. So we have 长生、沐浴、冠带、临冠、地旺、衰、病、死、木、绝、胎、养. And after the 12th stage, it loops all the way back to the beginning, so it creates a closed loop circle. And this trend line, the name comes from mimicking a person's life pattern. So we have the begin with the moment of birth, and then you move to your childhood. The reason it uses the word 沐浴, which literally means giving a bath of a baby, is because during our childhood years, we are more dependent of our family's love and care. And before you move into this teenage year, 冠 means hat, dai means belt. So that is the ancient ceremony where you're trying to celebrate a child transitioning from childhood to adulthood by crowning with a new hat and wearing a new belt in that celebration. Then the 4th stage is the beginning of an adulthood. So we venture into society, is the beginning of our own career and being independent. The 5th stage is 地旺, which is the prime peak stage of your life. So that corresponds to the middle years of our lives. We have a more established career, so we typically are the breadwinner and supporter of our own family. And after 地旺, it's the downhill momentum of this trend line. So it have the decline of your physical strength and health, and then we become weaker. Sometimes you'll show up as illness and disease before we reach to this unavoidable stage of death. And after death, you go to tomb. Tomb represents the true separation of your soul from your physical body. And then we move to bardo. I actually get that translation idea of bardo from this book, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I might actually spend a future video going through the details of this book. It's quite a fascinating read. But for today, bardo just means the stage where your soul floating in the universe without being tied to any physical existence. And after bardo, we become seated again, and you become a fetus in your mother's womb. And then the last stage is the 10-month pregnancy, when the fetus is growing before birth. So that is a quick overview of the 12 stages of existence. But before I go into the section of how this is applied in BaZi chart analysis, let me ask you an interesting question. So based on the ancient books, which one of the 12 stages did our seers define as the most optimal stage? So a little clue here is think about the yin and yang theory, and think about the middle way, the balanced way, versus going to the extremes. So if you apply that thinking into coming up with the answer, the correct answer is actually this one, 临冠, at the beginning of the adulthood. Because this is more in the balanced position of this young growing stage. And it's in comparison to the prime peak stage. This stage is actually the most energetic, the best condition of your qi, and it's the more stable stage in comparison to 地旺, because 地旺 is the extreme top. So the only way to go from top is going down, and it's not a very stable qi condition. So that's why our seers define 临冠 is the best stage, which give you the most optimum qi condition for your physical existence. So now let's dive into how this trend line is applied in BaZi chart analysis. Here's a table showing us how to determine the strength of our BaZi based on the 12 stages of existence. The left column lists the 10 heavenly stems ranging from Yang Wood Jia to Yin Water Gui. And that's the same as position number 3 in our BaZi chart. You can watch my prior videos explaining the layout of a BaZi chart and how to find out your own BaZi. Now the top row is the same 12 stages of existence, beginning with birth and ending with fetus. Now the body of this table is a different sequencing of the same 12 earthly branches. So that represents position number 6 in our BaZi chart, which is the birth month. That has the most influential weighting for your element relationship. Now let's use Yang Fire BaZi as an example. So Yang Fire, if you were born in the month of February, that is the Yang Wood month. Because wood supports fire, that corresponds to the birth stage of your trend line. So I would say it gives you moderate support for the Bing BaZi because it's the beginning of upward momentum and growing stage. And as you move through spring and go into the summertime, represented by the Si earthly branch. Because Si is a fire, same as myself, it gives me the utmost powerful support, which correspond to the prime and peak stage of this trend line. And then as you move into the fall season, which is represented by the metal energy, because fire suppresses metal, it's a reduction of my own energy. So that corresponds to the decline and being weak stage of your trend line. And now you move to the winter time, which is the Haizi month. That's all water element. Because water suppresses fire, so that corresponds to the bottom of this trend line, so the bardo and the seeding stage of your 12 stages. So that's just a quick overview of how we can use the 12 stages trend line in fine-tuning our BaZi chart strength analysis. In addition to its application in BaZi, there is a connection between this trend line and our mental health. The reason is that most external objects in life, such as money, fame, or career, they share the same natural progression of up and downs as this trend line. And none of those external items is able to maintain its peak stage indefinitely. So it will be risky and unstable if we define who we are based on those external objects. For example, some people might feel lost after retirement. That's because they define who they are based on their own career. Or we've heard the tragic story of people committing suicide after a stock market crash because they tied their identity to money. So in order to achieve this ultimate mental freedom from depression and fear, we need to exercise restriction. Restriction meaning resisting the temptation of defining who we are based on those external objects. And this concept of freedom and restriction perfectly mirror the yin and yang philosophy because they appear opposing each other on the surface, but one cannot live without the other and they influence each other. So the question is, how do we achieve a constant, calm state of mind? To me, the answer is we need to define who we are and our core values based on intrinsic values, because those intrinsic values are steady and quite different from the natural law of up and downs of those external objects. I have a deep respect for all religions in this world. So if you are a religious person, you can practice your foundational teachings in life, and that could be your guiding principle to keep the steady, calm state of mind. For me, I'm a spiritual person, so I care about my karmic imprint in this lifetime. I try to exercise my core principles in my beginning with my inner circles of life. So that means living below my means so I can create financial resources for stability. And I try to take care of both of myself and my family members, being honest with each other and earning resources and giving them support so that we can all have a good and mutually beneficial life together. But once you achieve this inner circle, I want to expand my karmic impact outside of your immediate family members. That's one of the reasons I started this YouTube channel, because I want to share any helping tips and helping others out as much as I can. So that's a wrap for today's video, and I hope this can help with your journey of finding the secret to a calm state of mind. Thank you for watching.